Hey, I'm Darren.
Mike.
What the fuck was that? Seriously?
Okay. I'm going to guess we want to do that one over.
Yeah, we're going to do that over.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. Save 20% on your next episode with your Kroger Plus card. Now, here are your hosts, Mike and Darren.
Hey, everybody, I'm Darren.
I'm Mike.
And this is episode 47 of Irritable Dad Syndrome. We're thrilled you're here.
Half of 94.
We're excited that you're back. Stop doing that. We are so excited that you're back for another fun episode. We've got a lot of great stories to talk about this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were talking before the show.
About our ineptitude.
Yeah. We were.
And how shyness. So I wanted to say, you are an extroverted
I am
person.
an extrovert. And
I
like
said
to
relatively extroverted.
I like to think that you're an extrovert also.
Well, see, that's weird. I see myself as an introverted person. It's become somewhat extroverted.
Okay.
But if you put me in a party, if we did an experiment,
Right.
and there were two parties,
Right.
with the equal ratio of people,
Equal parts being what they were.
you got your dorks, you got your smart people, your jocks, your sluts, all
Right.
all in the same same ratios each. You put you in the middle of one of those, and you put me in the middle of one of
It's
them.
always fun when the dorks and sluts start talking.
I'm most likely to be just standing there or at the corner, like playing with my phone or looking for the one person I know. Whereas I think you would come out of there with like 4 or 5 friends.
It's not true, because you went to my birthday party.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a ton of people you didn't know, and
That's
you
true.
wouldn't shut up. Not that that's a problem,
Well, it's a change for me.
because I find that flattering when people come to my
Yeah.
house, if
Yeah.
they meet people that I know
Uh-huh.
and strike up conversations. When someone likes a friend of mine,
Mm-hmm.
I find that flattering, because I value the choice of friends that I've made over the
Oh, there
years.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty cool that you and Chris Michael get along.
I
or
like
you and,
Chris Michael.
You and Jason Durbin
I like
strike up
Jason
a
Durbin.
conversation. You know, I think that's pretty cool.
I like Dave Lay.
Oh, I like Dave Lay too.
I like those other people.
Yeah.
Aaron Durbin.
Aaron
which
Durbin.
is
Yes.
Chris Durbin's.
Jason
Jason
Durbin's
Durbin, good friend of mine,
wife. Yeah.
Jason Durbin.
Yeah,
Known
we're-
him for years.
Go way back. Yeah.
And Chris Michael's wife, Sandy, Mary,
Mary Michael.
her and
Yeah.
that kid they got,
Victoria.
they're wonderful.
They're fantastic. people.
Fantastic people. We go way back. But that's a little bit
Yeah,
different because
right.
we all have you in common. I'm talking about a raw,
No, you're right. You're
a
right.
virgins party.
Yeah.
You go, not a party full of virgins, but
I know what you mean.
you know what I mean. Yeah, I think you would be more likely to come out of there with friends. If I went in there 3 sheets to the wind,
Uh-huh.
and I thought it would be funny, I would go up and talk to people. Like if we actually had a contest,
Uh-huh.
I guarantee I would come out of there with at least as many people, because I would be going up to people, not giving one hoot.
If there was like something on the line, you
Yeah.
would. Okay,
Something
but
on the line.
just because
Just because.
you wouldn't make an effort to talk to people.
Yeah. Now, when it's here's the thing: is
Okay.
when it's expected of me,
Uh-huh.
or when I need to, because I went on a. This is a long thing. I don't want to get into it
Okay.
too much, but I went to a class, and one of the things we had to do was introduce ourselves and talk to everybody. It was like one of these ice-breaking things, because we're going to be in the class together for weeks.
Okay.
I did
Was
great.
this something for work?
Kind of.
Okay.
I did great at that, and
Right.
I can, like, in the small, we split up into small groups. I do really well in those, but it's because it's like expected. But plop my ass down at the Krispy Kreme,
Right.
I ain't talking to.
Right.
I'm there to get my donuts and see that. But I think you would be standing there in your Cheerwine shirt
Yeah.
and your Letterman hat. And saying, "Hey, that's a nice pocket watch you got there,
So
pal.
there
Where'd you
are-
get that?"
Okay, so there are people who are shy.
Yeah.
And I remember, Garth Brooks was talking about James Taylor. James Taylor is painfully shy, in that it's just unbearable for people to approach him, from him to
Yeah.
try to talk to people.
Yeah.
I think I'm the opposite. I might be painfully extroverted, because if I'm at a table and there's not really a conversation, I feel like it's on me. I feel like, well, hell, somebody's got to start this conversation. Somebody's got to keep it going. And so that's what I do.
But so when your head goes there,
Uh-huh.
when I go there,
Mm-hmm.
see what happens when I say this to that person.
Right. Yeah, I know. Like,
But does that happen to you?
Well,
Or are you genuinely interested in how X person's day was?
Yeah.
Are you?
I am.
Okay.
I don't know why.
I am sometimes too, but sometimes I'm not.
Well, like when I go to the grocery store, you know how I talk
Yeah.
about how I ran into this crazy
Yeah.
person? I seek that out. I welcome it. It's like, please, you know, and
now-
I eat that stuff up.
See, now that I said that, when I'm at a party or something, like when I'm at your party, I did care about everyone's stories. So
Right.
I don't know. I've changed. I think I've changed
Yeah.
over the years, and I'm coming to terms with that.
Well,
What's that story you read, Judy Bloom? I need to read that one. Thank you, God, it's me.
Are you
Margaret.
there, God? It's
Are
me,
I need to
Margaret.
read that.
yeah.
I think I'm going through some. I think I'm going through some changes.
Yeah, going through your menstrual cycle.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Over the weekend, my youngest son, Cameron, he had a friend stay over. Now, his buddy used to go to school with him, but over the past 2 years, his family moved to Alabama. So
Why?
For work. His dad was promoted and moved, and they had to transfer to a different place in Alabama.
Okay.
So
we have no listeners
it,
in
it
Alabama.
broke all our hearts because we really like this kid. This kid, outside of Andrew, has like the best manners
I think you've told me about
of
this
any
kid.
kid who's
Yeah.
ever been at our house.
You told me about this kid in
Yeah.
comparison to another kid.
Yeah. Well, I've said before,
Yeah.
there are some kids who aren't welcome back at our house. And then there's some who are.
Yeah.
This kid is one of the kids who is always welcome at our house.
Okay.
Well, he's very shy. He's
Okay.
very quiet.
Yeah.
And so he's eating dinner with us. And my wife, Libby, had to go. She had to run to a meeting that she had. So she leaves. My oldest son, Jacob, woofs his food down and leaves. He goes, like, grabs his phone and starts watching memes, whatever. Cameron has to go poop. So
This one does.
he's like, I got to poop. Okay.
Yeah.
And he leaves. So it's
Okay.
me and this kid
okay.
at the table.
Yeah.
And this kid doesn't talk.
Was it like Jesse at the table with Walton and
And Mrs. I love these green beans.
Skylar- Walt
these
Skylar.
These are delicious, Mrs. White.
Yeah,
You
these
know?
are the bomb.
So I was like, so how do you like school? Good. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
How are your grades? Good. Good.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah.
How are your parents? They're good. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, this is my fault because in college, when we studied broadcasting, one of the things that we talked about was interview skills. You don't ask yes, no questions. You don't ask
Yeah.
one answer questions. You ask, so how do you feel about the new school system?
Yeah.
But this kid's 12 years old.
Yeah.
Or 13, you know? And so I'm trying as hard as I can to keep a conversation with this going. I'm thinking, can somebody come down here?
Yeah. So you were like that your entire life, though.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think that maybe I was. I just kind of held it in.
Right.
Because I didn't like anybody.
Right. That's a
That's what I'm
shame.
thinking.
That's a shame. So we had major news this week.
Uh-huh.
Our announcer, Dave Lay, the golden voice of Irritable Dad
The
Syndrome,
silky smooth
the
voice.
silky smooth sounds of Dave Lay. He is now a grandfather.
Granddaddy Dave Lay.
Yeah, Grandpa
Awesome.
Dave. Yeah, Dave and his wife Michelle. His wife Michelle. Oh my! You haven't met her yet.
No.
That chick, she is awesome. She
Yep.
rocks. She's cool as hell, and pretty as can be, and they're perfect together. And anyway, so they have a grandchild now. Bo is baby's name. Cute as a damn button.
Yep.
Adorable. And I just wanted to mention this, and so congratulations to Dave and Michelle and to everyone else in the family. We have exclusive audio of Dave meeting his grandson for the very first time. Let's take a listen.
Congratulations, Dave.
Hi, I'm your Grandpa Dave Lay. Goo goo gaga goo goo. And now it's time to Zerbert Your Belly. Brought to you by Diff Concentrated Wallpaper Stripper.
Well, I got into a little bit of trouble with the wife over the past week.
Okay. I think I saw evidence of this trouble from thine own Facebook post where you said you thought you were in trouble.
Oh man!
And then I saw what you did.
I didn't get in trouble, but I did get did I get a talking to?
Did you get a stern?
A sort of. I got a. Oh my God, Darren! Stop that!
Did you get a cease and desist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm walking through the house, and Libby had left her phone.
Yeah.
And you don't leave your phone around
No.
when and my wife, she is never, ever on Facebook. She's
Yeah.
never on Facebook. So she never posts anything. Occasionally she reads something. Occasionally, if I tell her that I did something somewhat remotely funny, she'll check it out.
Yeah.
I know she goes on there to look at pictures of my nephew and stuff like that.
Okay.
So she left her phone, and I got on Facebook, and I couldn't. I tried as hard as I could to put the phone away, but I couldn't resist.
Yeah.
So I hacked her Facebook.
Yeah.
And I posted something. Now, I stole a joke from Letterman.
Okay.
This is the day after the 4th of July. This is July 5th.
Yeah.
And I got on her page and I wrote, I fell asleep in the backyard last night and woke up with a deer licking margarita salt off my face. Hope everybody had a great 4th of July. Right?
Yeah.
Now.
Well, it's pleasant. It's
Yeah.
pleasant. Yeah.
Your wife saw it. She goes, did Darren hack you?
Yeah.
Of course I did.
Yeah.
Of course I did, right?
Yeah.
Our friends, the Wisemans. Did Darren hack you? Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody who
Yeah.
knows her. So I had no idea that so many people who work with my wife are on her Facebook. And so we had, oh my God, this is amazing. This is the best story. Had fun, but not as much fun as you did. Now that's a night to remember. I think you win the 4th fun prize.
Oh, boy.
Are you freaking kidding me? That is amazing. You really know how to have a good time.
Well, those are all compliments.
Yeah, I know.
Those are all compliments.
So we're just having a big laugh about it. She goes into work,
Oh, no.
and the number of people who thought she was serious is astounding. I'm like, I just wanted to go into work with her. I'm like, are you kidding me? Did you really think that my wife would sleep in the yard? Anyway, I've been told not to do that again. So I would like to take this time and formally apologize to Libby. Honey, I'm sorry that I hacked your Facebook page. And to quote Mike Odell, in my defense, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, he thought it was funny.
And I apologize to your coworkers who thought you... I could just see them reading going, damn, Libby had a deer licking margarita salt off her mouth.
So we were on a road trip this past weekend.
Where'd you go?
We went to my hometown.
Okay.
And we're riding, and I was telling Bess a few stories about, my youth. Because, you go back along the road and you kind of go almost like you're going back in time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm talking to her, and I was
Exactly.
like, this is a whole new road. This road didn't even exist when, years ago. They just made this road recently. So it goes through some hills.
You're talking about development
in
your old hometown.
Like on the way to it.
Gotcha.
Like even the 3-hour journey to get there
Gotcha.
is a different journey now. We're going through these hills, and I'm talking about how, it looks cool that they cut through this mountain to get this part. It seems like a little wasteful, but they did that.
Mm-hmm.
Then at one point, we start playing Rush because we're going through a town that says the town was named Rush.
Right.
Bess hates Rush. I started playing Rush on the
They call him the working man.
I started playing Rush on the Spotify.
Yeah.
We're talking about Rush.
Yep.
And how she doesn't really
Geddy Lee.
She can
Alex
get into some
Lifeson,
songs,
Neil
other songs
Peart.
she can't.
Yeah.
And then we start talking about different foods that we're excited about. I'm excited about Tudors and
Biscuit
different things
World.
like that. We're talking about, are we going to go to the fair? Yeah, we're going to go to the fair. And somewhere in the journey, Andrew says, "What?"
How long were you? How long were you talking?
Oh, it's been a good 2 hours.
20 minutes.
Good 2 hours in. What?
What?
And at first, I'm surprised. I thought they were asleep. And what part of what story
Did you not hear?
did you not hear? I don't even know. Is that
Right,
I didn't
right.
hear what you said?
Right.
What? Or is it I don't understand what you're talking about? What? Or did you just wake up and it's an involuntary reaction? What? He's been doing that his entire life.
Yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
get 5 minutes into something.
Yeah, my kids too.
What?
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 Or do your kids sometimes hear things that you didn't say?
The
yeah.
random in the middle of the night. What?
No. No, I was talking to Libby about, oh boy, what were we talking about? Dementia. And I was saying, when we go downtown tomorrow, we'll need to check and see if we can find that thing for Nana. Nana's coming? No, I never once said that your grandmother was coming.
Yeah.
Yes, I said Nana, but I never said Nana is coming to the house.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah. It's like their brain fills in the spaces. Why didn't it fill it in during the what? Right before the what happened.
Yeah. But, Cameron's little buddy, his dad came to pick him up.
Yeah.
And I'm standing at the door talking to him about, this and something else and another thing. And we're talking for like 10 minutes and Cameron comes on, what? and then he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, Cameron, buddy, I'm not going to stop this conversation and to fill you previously on this conversation.
Well, Andrew's 13,
Right.
and Charlie's 7, so Charlie has a whole different thing that he does. He will interrupt any conversation.
Yes.
We could be under attack. We could be, I don't know why we would be here, but we could be in the Oval Office with President Biden during a incoming nuclear attack. And the Joint Chiefs of Staff is there. Sir, we've got to launch. We've got to do it now. You've got the codes. We need the codes. And all of a sudden you'd hear, I got to the second level on this game.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they do that too.
What we're talking, or he loves when Bess is on the phone, comes up. So we got a combination of that going on, and then any random open space of conversation with silence, you hear a what from some other room. It's complete. Led Zeppelin had a song. Was it Communication Breakdown?
Communication Breakdown.
That's exactly what we have.
Yeah. We were having a group chat call with Eddie and Gina in North Carolina, and we were talking, and Libby is asking them, how's the job going, and is everything all right, and are you feeling good or whatever. Karen's like, Jacob got a free unicycle. And they're like, what? And since it's on Zoom, the audio is not crystal clear.
Yeah.
And sometimes all you hear is unicycle. And he'll just get bored with what we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, unicycles are more exciting than just about anything.
We'll be talking to my mom, and how are your hands feeling? And any luck selling the house and this and that. And I got a new Lego set. It's a Tauntaun. And it has 2 stormtroopers.
Just launches right into it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So then that puts us in a rough situation. Now, back in the boomers age, you get a big smack and shut the hell up and get back over there before I give you more. That's how we were raised.
I'll give you something to cry about.
But now we have this weird thing. It's like, well, I don't want to stifle. I don't want to turn him into an introvert or stifle his ability to make conversation.
Yeah.
I also want to guide him into the right way to make conversation because you think, what's he going to do in the boardroom? Like, is his boss going to be giving a presentation?
The way we see it, the only way to increase profits for the next fiscal year is, I love the new Mamma Mia movie. There's not a new one.
Yeah.
And what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm at this crossroads. I don't want to destroy that, but I need the ability to talk, but I also don't want to have a Mamma Mia moment.
Well, we're trying to tell him, it's like, buddy, stay on point.
Yeah.
Because the person on the other end of the phone is confused as hell. Like, I thought we were just talking about.
So what I want to know, because Andrew went through the same thing. He outgrew it and moved into the what stage.
Right.
So Charlie,
with the changing topic stage to the what stage?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm guessing we got a good 5-6 years before Charlie all of a sudden starts going, what? So what's Andrew going to be doing at that point? I need any listeners out there who have kids in the 19, 20 year range, assuming they still talk to you. What do they do then?
Well, Jacob is almost 17.
Okay.
And
is he out of the what stage?
He is out of the what stage.
What does he do?
He zones out. And you'll be downstairs and hey, buddy. Hey, Jacob. Yeah. Huh? What?
And then you got to have a thing. Are you smoking the devil's grass?
Are you up there doing the doobie? Yeah, But no, we'll be at the table and having a conversation, and then you ask Jacob, so what'd you think about that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
he was thinking about drums, or his new girlfriend, or something.
Yeah.
So he, sometimes they get in their own little worlds, and you know what? Sometimes I do the same thing too.
Yeah, I do too.
Speaking of Jacob,
Okay.
this podcast is having an effect on my family because I don't know how many times I've went to the grocery store and I came back. I'm like, guys, sit down. I've got a new story, whether it's, do you want to touch my beets, or whether it's the woman who was fascinated that I was buying celery and bananas at the same time. And she couldn't figure out what would I possibly be making with celery and bananas, or the guy who gives me the history lessons, or, all that stuff. So Jacob has his driver's license. Libby's making quesadillas. We're out of shredded cheese. We've got an emergency.
Yeah.
Oh. So she says, Darren, would you go to the store and get some shredded cheese? I'm like, why don't we send Jacob? He's got his license.
Exactly.
That's why we had him get his license.
That's the whole point.
I
That's
know.
why you have a kid, so that 16 years later, they will get you some cheese.
And it's awesome because we sent him to get the pizza the other night. We sent him to the store to get the cheese.
Wow.
So, Jacob, go to the store, get some cheese.
Yep.
And by the way, for our viewer who requested that every episode we say cheese. Cheese. So go get some shredded cheese, get the big bag, the Mexican blend, and get a can of corn.
Okay.
Get the Kroger brand, and that's all you need to do. And I gave him some cash.
Yeah.
And so he goes, and when he comes back, he walks to the door. He's so excited. Dad, I have a Kroger story. I've got a grocery store story. And I'm like, oh, cool. Let's, here we go. I can't wait. So, because I love this.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting down and I'm like, here we go. Okay, go. And he says, well, I was supposed to get corn, right? A can of corn.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. So I'm walking up and down the canned food aisle, and I can't find corn anywhere. And I'm looking, and on my right and the left, I don't see corn anywhere. And I keep looking, and I'm thinking, where's the corn? And I just can't find it. Anyway, I look up, and there's the
thing.
I'm like, the sign. Yeah, the
thing.
sign.
Yeah.
And I noticed that canned vegetables are one aisle over. And so I go over, and I'm sitting there going, okay. And I'm thinking,
all right.
when is this going to turn into a grocery store story? But I'm nice.
You're still in the setup stages, you think. You think you're still in the setup.
This is like the first 8 minutes of Alice's Restaurant.
You got to set the
for
stage.
Yeah. So he says, so I go over, and then I'm looking at the corn, and I'm like, okay, Dad said get the Kroger brand. Did he want cream corn? Anyway, so I couldn't remember if you wanted cream corn or just corn. Anyway, I bought corn. Okay, and I already had the cheese. So then I go up to the register, and I'm thinking, okay, this is when, bam, this is when the good stuff starts.
Yeah,
because all the cool stuff happens at the register. So it goes to the register, and the person in front of them is trying to pay with the card, and they swiped it, and it didn't work, so they had to swipe it again. And he's like, "Man, this takes forever." and I had to be. I'm like, buddy, where's the story?
He's so excited.
And God love him. And I'm like, and I just gave him a hug. I'm like,
So
it's like, Jacob, I hate to break it to you, but that's not really a story. And now I'm taking up 8 minutes of the podcast.
Well,
but I told him I would.
So Bess texted me.
Is she doing this?
She sent me a text. She has, I have a Kroger story you can use for your podcast.
Oh, boy.
I was like, oh, great, because I actually have a Kroger story as well. But
okay.
She said, yeah, I got these cookies, and I got everything in the cart. Mm-hmm. I'm taking everything out to the car. I get everything into the back of the van, and I have the cookies in my hand, and I hear somebody behind me yell out, "I'll take that." She's like, "What?" She said, "Oh, he wants the cart. I thought he wanted the cookies."
So she didn't have a story?
No, not at all.
They're trying so hard.
It's nice.
It is nice.
It makes you wonder how interesting your own stories actually are, though. If they're using them as a model.
Well,
Dad never says anything worthwhile. I'll do the same thing.
I don't know.
Or Bess is like, Mike's stories have no point. I have... Again, I'll point you to the time we've been doing this, over 46 hours.
If for anybody listening, if this is the first time that you're listening to our show. One, welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Second, God help you.
But I want to tell you, go back to last week's episode in the middle and listen to Mike's story about going to the Golden Warrior,
the
Giant Eagle grocery store where he tried to buy a birthday cake for his mother-in-law. I swear to God, it's the funniest damn thing ever.
So there's a Kroger near where I work,
Right.
about a mile away. And I'm on a diet. I'm trying to be on a diet. I don't want to say, I hate when I say I'm on a diet because I know there's jackasses that are like jumping on the keyboard about how you need to do a lifestyle change. A diet never works, all this stuff. I yo-yo diet. I drop in weight a lot.
I know.
And then I
do the same thing.
I gain it all back.
And then some.
And then I add more. And then I drop in weight again. And then I add more.
Mhm.
That's how I've gotten to where I am right now.
Right.
And I'm okay with that. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I get excited that I dropped the weight.
Yeah. I can't
And
talk.
then I get excited that I dropped the weight.
Uh-huh.
And then I celebrate by eating an entire pint of Chunky Monkey Ben & Jerry's ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I do.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But I'm on the thing right now where I'm trying to cut back on the bad things that I eat.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also save money because I've been going out to lunch every day. And that's like it's like $15 a pop to get enough to feed me.
Where are you
I get
going?
Chipotle.
Uh-huh.
I gotta get the chips. I gotta get the big drink. Sometimes I gotta get a Three Musketeers bar or a Frosty
Uh-huh.
to polish that thing off. So recently I've been eating some, small meals
Mm-hmm.
with fruit.
Yeah.
And if I don't have my fruit, I get. So I am really good at not eating a lot of calories during the day. If I really don't need to,
Mm-hmm.
I won't do it, and I can handle that. But I gotta have like the right amount to keep me from turning into a serial killer.
Okay.
And that apple, the one apple that I have every day, keeps me from that point.
I had an apple today.
I got to work and I didn't have an apple, but I'm like, there's a Kroger. So the primal Mike said, okay, go to Chipotle.
Yeah.
Or Jersey Mike's.
Right.
Because you can get chips there too.
Yeah.
But no, I'm like, I'm going to stick to this thing. I'm going to go get an apple. I knew there was a Kroger a mile away. So it's a mile away. It's supposed to be a 10-minute trip. It ended up being a half-hour trip. Because...
To get a mile?
Yeah.
What did you take
Because when I got in the Kroger,
Uh-huh.
I noticed a lot of really long line. I didn't notice that when I was going to get my apple.
Right.
But when I'm in line or getting in line, I notice self-checkout line is going all the way back into an aisle and down that aisle. So I'm like, screw that. I'm going
What
into
were
the
they
regular
selling
one.
concert tickets or something?
No. And all the other lanes were doing that as well. There were only 4 lines open and 4 self-checkouts open. And apparently, what is today, Tuesday? Apparently Tuesday at noon is when everybody goes to that Kroger to buy their groceries. It turns out that they had a credit card issue and it wasn't working. And the registers just kept like restarting or rebooting.
Gotcha.
Or whatever. So it was taken for, so we kept jumping lines.
That's the third one that went nowhere. I don't have one. I don't have a Kroger store that goes nowhere.
I mean, if the bar is that low, you probably have one.
Okay, no. I'm going to add to this.
All right.
So I went to Kroger.
Yeah.
And while I was there, I was supposed to buy some hand soap. Cameron has a habit of taking the bars of soap and he will break them in half. I don't know why he keeps taking our soap and he keeps breaking them in half. And it's driving me and his
Is this
brother.
like a Hulk thing?
I don't
like,
know.
Look how strong I am?
I don't know. But
That's pretty. They're big bars.
well, he gets it. He
Oh,
gets it
down.
so wet in the
Oh,
middle
okay,
that
yeah.
he could snap it.
Okay.
And it's driving me and his brother and his mother crazy. We're like, what are you
Yeah.
doing to the soap? Anyway, so I went and I bought some hand soap that squirts.
Okay.
Okay.
Can't break that in half.
No, you can't. And they had, the soap was 10 for 10. $1 a thing. That's not bad for hand soap.
Yeah.
So I grabbed 10 of them. And you know what I did? I grabbed all different colors. I got a green, a purple, I got a blue. I'm Mr. Rainbow. I'm
You
all
get an orange
festive.
in there.
Yeah, I got 2 oranges.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I go up and the lady is checking me out, or she's cashing.
Yeah.
She's not, hey, how you doing? I see you're buying hand soap. So, and it comes up to like $14. And
That's a lot of soap.
I said, And normally I don't raise a stink. I said, I'm pretty sure the soap is supposed to be 10 for 10. So the cashier said, did you buy 10?
Yeah.
And the person who bagged it said, he got more than 10.
It's like
She points and he got more than 10. I'm like, you don't even know me.
Like the Monty Python blasphemer.
Yeah,
Did you have like a scarlet A on your chest.
I'm like, one, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
And two, why are you jumping on my you know? And we went
You're
through the
a
bag.
witch.
We went through the bag. I'm like, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Oh.
And I looked at her like, suck it. Turns out 3 of them were bigger than the other 7, and those weren't 10 for 10.
Okay.
So I'm just like, instead of going
Well, that's
back,
even worse because she wasn't right, but she was kind of right.
Right.
She was right to stop you, but she was wrong.
Well,
You know, that's got it. I'd rather you had 11. And you said, oh, yeah. Because then you could have been like, hey, I got 11. So what? F you.
yeah.
It thrown it at her.
But yeah, I mean, she just like, he got more than 10. I don't know why you're ratting me out. I didn't do anything to
See,
you.
that was a good story.
Oh, thank you.
That had an end.
I saved it.
It had an end.
And so, Jacob, next time you tell a story, have a point.
Have a point.
That sound like Neil Page
Yeah, Neil Page.
and Dill Griffin.
Yeah.
Here's an idea. Have a point.
Yeah.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by sweet, delicious apples. I'm Dave Lay, and I love apples. Honeycrisps are my favorite, but I also enjoy Golden Delicious, Fuji, and Cameo apples. I'll eat anything except for Granny Smith apples. What the hell were they thinking when they made those? Am I right? Apples are healthy, and they're perfect with peanut butter. Remember, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But if you're not feeling well or have symptoms, please contact your primary care physician or call 911. Apples, America's favorite snack. Now, back to the show.
Charlie loaded up his toothbrush with Icy Hot and stuck it in his mouth and brushed his teeth.
I think.
That's what he did. Okay. And then when he went to his mom on the different floor of the house, he was downstairs doing this. He went upstairs. He explained what happened, and he said, this tastes weird. He took her to where the stuff that went on his toothbrush came from. She saw that it was icy hot, and she did what any parent would do, which is
panic.
Oh, you know, and they always have those little poison control center things. I didn't get very much detail on this part of the story. All I got was after we determined he wasn't going to die.
Now, let me ask you a question. When all this was going on, were you down here eating ice cream?
I don't even think I was home.
Okay.
I think I was out somewhere.
I could just see Bess texting you, can you come upstairs? Your youngest son has been poisoned.
So I was not home because she texted me this whole story.
Okay.
So once they determined that he wasn't going to die, he looked at her and he said, well, at least Daddy has a story for his podcast now. So episode 47, we've reached the point where my kids are putting themselves in, it's like Jackass. You know, they're putting themselves in danger.
I'm going to jump in front of this fire truck, see if I can get on Daddy's podcast.
So we had a discussion 1 or 2 episodes ago of like, you know, are you going to say this thing? Do you say that thing? Not, I don't know if I say it. It'll be fodder for the podcast. Go ahead and say it, see what happens.
Yeah. Now
my kids are going to be there like, do I bungee jump off the house? Do I not bungee jump? I'll give Dad a story. Woo!
I have a friend who, when it just reminds me, my friend Craig, when he was young, he thought, and in theory, this would make sense. So he would like climb up on top of a bucket and then jump off. And then he would climb up on top of something bigger, like a chair, and jump off of that. And then he would climb up a ladder, like halfway, and jump. And he thought he could develop, he could work his way up.
To be able to jump off a building and be okay.
And he kept jumping off things that were higher and higher and higher. And then he jumped off the house.
Oh.
And then he stopped jumping off things. It's like, I don't think this is going to work.
It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you without commercial interruption.
What else did you do while you were out of town, Mike?
So we went to Lawrence County Fair.
Okay.
Now, Lawrence County is the county that I'm from.
And that is in where?
Ohio.
Lawrence County, Ohio.
South Ohio.
Okay.
Southeast Ohio.
Southeast Ohio.
Huntington, West Virginia. It's right across the river. It's Lawrence County.
Okay.
You always know the fair's coming in town because a smell comes through the town. And I'm not being mean. A fair smell. They bring animals. Yeah, part of it is like they have like a pig show, different things like that.
You can smell pigs from like 20 miles away.
You can.
Yeah.
And so you could tell that the fair is coming to town. Now, we were kicked off of a ride because we didn't have stamps. Now, when we went in, we had to pay $10 to get in. I remember back when the fair was like $1 or something.
Well, that was 40 years ago.
Yeah. So we had to pay. And it said all
they
attractions.
paid us to go to the fair and we liked it.
Yeah, it said all attractions and all rides. $10.
Okay.
So we give them the $10.
You should be able to ride everything.
And they put a little bracelet on us.
Okay.
So we decide we're going to walk all the way through the fair to see what all they have and decide what we're going to ride
all
first.
4 rides.
So 5 minutes later, we're at the other end of the fair.
There's a tilt-a-whirl.
This thing.
You climb up stuff and you slide down slides.
This thing that we were in front of that Charlie wanted to go in was it was like a little trailer.
Small.
And there was a lady, not a crone, a lady standing in front of it, you know. And we wanted to say step aside, ma'am, because she was standing like right in front of the entrance, and we just paid our $10 to get all access. And so Bess politely says, "Well, does he have to show his bracelet to go in there?" She said, "It's $1." And I couldn't help myself. $1 to go through there? Yeah, it's $1. No shame, nothing. $1. And Charlie really wanted to do it. And I'm laughing as I'm handing over the $1 because I just think it's ridiculous. He's out of it, I think, before she managed to put the $1 in her pocket. And we go on to the next thing. Remember, we paid $10 for all access. Okay, we get in the line.
Did you show her your thing? Did you ask her?
Yeah, yeah, we showed it. We didn't ask her. Andrew was determined to ride a ride. He wanted to make it a fun family event. We got to ride a ride. So we go to this ride, and it looks tame. It takes you and it spins you around.
Was it the spider ride?
It's like you're in a ship. And you're going around and it goes up and down, but it goes way faster than it should be going.
Right.
Especially for a fair vehicle.
Yeah.
That was parked there by some guy. So the whole time we're in there, I'm like, buddy, you really think we should go on that? He's like, no, we have to go on that. This is awesome. We have to go on it. We have to go on a ride. Okay. This lady turns around and tells us randomly, you gotta have a stamp. I'm sorry. You ride this, they're going to kick you off if you don't have a stamp. I got a stamp. He's got a stamp. She's got a stamp. They got stamps. Everybody got stamps. You ain't got no stamp. You ain't going to ride. They going to kick you off.
Ain't got no stamps.
Okay. Thank you. Where did you get that? We paid. I know what you paid for that. I paid the same thing for mine. I got one right here, right under the stamp. You got to get a stamp. Okay. She's both. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that additional commentary. We need to get a stamp. And so I look over at Bess is trying to get on another ride with Charlie. They're beginning to have trouble. She's with the guy. I'm trying to get her attention to point out that she doesn't have a stamp.
Right. I
see Bess begin to. You ever seen your wife go into Karen mode?
Oh yeah.
They get that different posture. Mm-hmm. It's like in Jurassic Park when the raptors are walking and then they get full upright. They're ready to go.
Yeah.
She got that full upright, ready to attack.
Did her claws come out?
Yeah. Like she got up like that with the posture. The mouth dropped slowly into that. Oh my God, are we having this conversation? Kind of? And then Charlie, wide-eyed, looked over in my direction. A small plea for help. Like, Mom's about to go Karen.
Mom's about to lose it.
So I tell Andrew, we got to get a line, buddy. We don't have a stamp. And Mom's about to cause an issue over at the other ride. So we go over there, and the guy's like, no, ma'am, you ain't got no stamp. We can't let you in. We can't let you in the ride. You ain't got no stamp. I've been waiting in line. I've been waiting, just like everyone else. I paid good money for this. So I have to go get another stamp? Where do I get a stamp? Where's the stamp? I'm like, I think the stamp. By this time, I'm over there, and you're just like, oh my God, come on, the thing. And it was like, well, she's like, well, I'll be back. And she's walking away. We're coming back. We're coming back. We'll be back. And we're not waiting. We're not going to wait in line.
Oh, and another thing.
Yeah. So we go.
I'll tell you who's going to have a
the
stamp.
and nothing came from that. But I was scared. Like the next time he saw us,
Uh-huh.
I got to give this guy props. No recognition at all. He didn't
Uh-huh.
even acknowledge that this lady, Bess, was like almost up in his grill,
Uh-huh.
ready to go full Karen. Previous times in Larry County,
Okay.
just to give everyone a sense of what this place is like.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're going back in time and back in evolution. They have a demolition derby.
Oh,
They
okay.
they had a nanner eating contest.
For folks unfamiliar with nanner, that's a Southern term for banana.
Now, picture this, if you will.
Okay.
Tell me how this would ever happen today, not 20 years ago. We kept hearing announcements all through the thing. We're going to have a nanner eating contest over in the Derby area.
Uh-huh.
Come on down for the nanner eating contest. So I got to go see the nanner eating contest. I go over there.
Uh-huh.
It's about 5 to 6 girls.
Uh-huh.
They seem to be in ages from
Come on, is it 5? Is it
13
5 or 6?
They seem to be ages 13 to 16.
Uh-huh.
No older than 16.
Okay.
I'm hoping the youngest one wasn't any younger than, I mean, they were young. And this dude that looks like he's maybe in his 40s or 50s with a pot belly hanging out going, we gonna have him eat as many nanners. Whoever gets the 3 nanners. I can't remember how many nanners. They had to get, however many nanners they had to get down, the fastest was the winner.
Okay.
Okay.
Were they already peeled?
They had to pill them.
Oh, okay.
So they bring them
See,
out.
That's,
So you got
that's
these,
where
you got
all the
these
talent
3,
comes in.
you got these 5 to 6 basically children, and this old hairy guy with the pot belly out there in the middle of the demolition derby track. And there's like stands of people. Imagine that.
Okay.
A nanner eating contest has attracted stands of people.
Yeah. Well, my daughter Lurlene, she's going to be number 1.
So up to that point, it was mildly uncomfortable. When it started, it got full blown uncomfortable because he started going, hey, look at her take that nanner. She took that whole nanner in her mouth.
No,
look at that one.
no,
look at that one. She took that whole
he
nanner.
Didn't.
He did.
Oh,
because I was looking
God.
around at everyone around me like, what in the actual is going on here? What is happening in this place right now?
Yeah.
And that kept going. I didn't see the end of the nanner.
Okay.
That was the end of my visit to the fair.
And kids, get in the car. We're leaving the fair.
So this year at the fair, Charlie had a monkey on his head.
A real monkey?
A real monkey.
Okay.
We walked by. There's a sign. And I put it on the Irritable Dad Syndrome
I
thing.
know. I've been excited about this.
Say
for
hi
days.
to the monkey, take a picture with the monkey, all this stuff. And I'm yucking it up with the locals around there and going like, I don't know if that monkey's worth it, that type of thing. Charlie really wants to meet the monkey.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to meet a monkey?
I'm like, let's go $5. It's $5 you have to take for a picture with your camera, which I thought was fun. So you're allowed to take a picture with your camera.
With your camera.
For $5.
For $5. Okay.
So I was like, screw it. Give him the $5.
Did you need a stamp?
No.
Did you need a wrist bracelet for this?
So Bess goes to give the guy the $5, and he says, give it to the monkey. Which is...
That's the name of this. Give it to the monkey.
Give it to the monkey. She gives it to the monkey, and then
he wipes his with it. Then he rips the arms off of one of the kids at the banana eating contest.
So he puts
because they're eating his bananas.
He puts this now. Let me describe this monkey. This monkey has, I believe, a vest. It's a vest. I'm just trying to remember if it was red or blue.
It's probably red.
A vest with a little monkey cowboy hat.
A cowboy hat. Okay.
And
rabies.
He sets this disease-infested cartoon beast on my son's shoulder.
And you paid for it.
The monkey slaps its forearm and claw down on his head and like starts fiddling around with the bangs of his hair. Charlie is terrified. Andrew is laughing himself silly.
Yeah.
And Bess is yelling, "Oh my God, that's so cute." And I'm sitting there thinking, there's nothing to stop that monkey from ripping his eyes out right now. Our kid.
That's how Planet of the Apes started.
Our youngest goes from his whole life in front of him to a blind
With rabies.
with rabies
Yeah.
within the next 5 seconds.
Foaming at the mouth.
Boom. Because we paid $5 for a picture with a monkey.
Because it would be cute.
and I'm thinking that's probably why the guy didn't take the money. He didn't take the money himself. He had the monkey take it, so his hands don't get soiled by the money. It was all the monkey, Your Honor. It wasn't me.
I wonder if you gave him a 10 if the monkey would give you 5 and change. I wonder if the monkey was able to do that. God.
An unfortunate comment on the Facebook post was, "What would the monkey do for $50?"
Uh-huh.
So I don't know.
When we were in Hilton Head, and I meant to tell this story weeks ago, but we stayed at a condo, and they had a VCR. Okay, the last handful of times we've went anywhere, you rent a cabin in Gatlinburg, you go to Hilton Head, you go somewhere, and a lot of times they have a DVD player.
Yeah.
And the last time we went to a cabin in Gatlinburg, they had like 30 DVDs. They had some Marvel movies, they had some chick flicks, they had some horror films. They had a little bit of something for everybody.
Yeah.
So at this condo in Hilton Head, they had a VCR.
Okay.
They had fried green tomatoes. Okay.
Always a
everybody loves Jessica Tandy films.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They had an Abbott and Costello film, 40 years older than the.
Yeah.
They had Michael, starring
that's the
John
angel
Travolta.
story of John
Yeah.
Travolta. Okay.
They had Ghost.
My God.
and it reminded me with Ghost, I never understood why Patrick Swayze could walk through walls, but he never fell through the floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I digress.
Yeah.
We didn't want to watch anything on the VCR. Although I kind of wanted to show my kids what a tracking button does.
Oh, yeah.
But
It's like magic.
Exactly. So kids, you can rewind or fast forward. Daddy, this looks horrible. Yes, it does. Anyway, you could also, they didn't have Netflix, but they did have some stuff on demand.
Okay.
And we're looking through the stuff that they had on demand. And one of them was A Monkey Stole My Baby. We didn't watch it. I wish we had now, because it may have been the monkey from the Larry County Fair.
It could have been.
Totally could have been.
And I completely stole Larry County. There's a couple of
Lawrence, Larry.
There's some pages that I follow on Facebook, and they are some of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. One is called Larry County, and one is called Arnton, Ohio.
Arnton?
Like you got
Arnton, you're supposed to be
Ironton is a town in Ohio.
Okay.
You know that.
Right.
Everybody pronounces it Arnton.
Arnton.
So the actual page is spelled Arnton.
Nice.
I actually tagged them on the monkey picture.
Okay.
They're not paying any. They're not saying
They're
anything.
not
They don't want anything to do with me.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Crank Cola. There's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold bottle of Crank. That's right, Crank Cola isn't available in a can. The fine folks at Crank refuse to sell their soda in anything but a glass bottle, just like God intended. It's available in cherry, vanilla, and now their newest flavor, peach. So grab a bottle of Crank today, the old-fashioned soda that comes in a bottle and stays fizzy longer. Now, back to the show.
I think I've mentioned this before. Pretty sure I mentioned it last week, but my mom is trying to sell her house, and she's going to move up here to live near us, which is going to be great.
Yeah.
Kids get to see Nana, and we'll get to see her and help her out. She could help us out and all that stuff. So it's going to be fun. But she's coming up to visit us this week.
Okay.
And I'm not nervous, but unusual things happen when my mom comes to visit or when we go to visit her. The last time I went to visit her, not the last time, I think it was the time before, I'm taking a shower and I go to turn off the water and the water just won't turn off.
Okay.
And the water ran for hours before we could fix the shower. And Mom's like, "What did you do?" I'm like, "I turned on the water." And then it wouldn't turn off. But this reminds me, it was Thanksgiving Day. We're at my mom's house in Tennessee.
Okay.
And she has not an emergency, but she is trying to figure out something, and it's got her visibly frustrated. I said, "What's the problem?" She can't open her silverware drawer. Okay. She's got the drawer. Inside is a metal container.
She's got like a knife or
for the
something
silverware.
that's up
The
and
knife,
stuck on
yes.
the thing. Yeah.
The knife got pointed up towards, so when you pull and you keep pulling, it keeps getting more and more jammed into the back.
Yeah.
And she can't, she's like, we're going to have to go buy new silverware.
I was gonna say that's whenever that happens here, I'm like, we just need to go buy a new house.
Right.
We're done. We'll just move.
Buy a new.
'Cause-
But she says we don't have any other silverware. I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting there, got my hand in there, and I'm trying to, and I can't, and it's like, and my thumb's too big to fit in the thing and whatever.
Yeah.
I finally just like, I'm getting the keys, and I said, do you need anything else? Because I'm going to the Walmart. So I drove down to the Walmart to get dinner rolls, some turkey gravy, and bolt cutters. And never in my life have I bought turkey gravy and bolt cutters at the same time, and I probably never will again. But I drove back, and with these bolt cutters, I had to clip and cut out the metal container that held the silverware so that we could open the drawer and eat our Thanksgiving dinner. So it was a very bolt cutter Thanksgiving. Anyway, I'm just wondering what's going to happen when Mom comes up this weekend.
Yeah. This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Boz Scaggs Greatest Hits. This is Dave Lay. I know music, and it's hard to find an album greater than this one, with groovy hits like Lowdown,
To the sad, sad truth, the dirty low down.
the tender love classic, Look What You've Done to Me,
What you've done to me.
and who can forget the Lido Shuffle.
Lido. Whoa.
These great hits and more, all on one compact disc. So go to your favorite record store, or
We've mentioned Jim Timmerman, Planking with Jim.
Uh-huh.
He sends me questions,
yeah.
more like suggestions. Darren, I have a topic that I think you would enjoy discussing. Okay, thank you, Jim.
Yeah.
And he was asking, at what point did we become irritable dads?
Yeah.
And I think you said it best the moment they were born.
Yeah.
Sleep deprivation.
Well, people joke about how, or talk about how you're not going to have any sleep or any of this stuff, but they don't, there's a really hard tired. And I know all the moms who are listening to this show right now are just like, oh, you have no idea.
That's
We do.
Yeah,
I mean,
calm down, Sarah.
We have an idea.
Yeah.
We may not know exactly, but we have an idea.
No, I
We're
didn't.
not complete. If we were completely clueless, that would cause a war.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We have some idea.
Right.
But I remember, with Andrew and again with Charlie, and to a very, very much lesser degree with our dogs. And I'll get into that in a second.
Right. My dogs are my kids.
Yeah, but with both of them, it was like you reach a point where your body's like, if you get horizontal, you don't even have to get horizontal. If you rest against something,
Out.
You're gone.
Yeah.
You're done. You wake up and you know what happened. You're covered in drool. Yeah. It's like you're back in college.
Right.
And so the idea of having 15 to 20 minutes of sleep is like, oh my God.
Oh, I would die for that. Yeah.
So-
I would strangle a man. Because I'm thinking I could probably sleep in prison.
Yeah. So that'll make anybody irritable.
Yeah.
But
I remember this woman had once told me that she was just all up in my grill about how you don't know what it's like to be pregnant and you're a man and you could never do that. And well, yeah, I'm a man. And yes, I could never do that.
Yeah.
It's physically impossible.
Yeah, literally
for a
could never
man.
do that. Yeah.
But she's just tearing me a new one because I've never been pregnant. And I'm like, I had no choice in the matter. And I told her, I said, because I remember the day when they said, Darren, now that you're born and you're a man, you have a penis, do you want the option to have kids or not have kids?
Yeah,
and I turned that down. I said, no, I'm not going to do that.
you don't.
No, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I had, I was born a man.
Yeah.
I'm never going to get pregnant. I'm never going to give birth.
Yeah.
So sue me.
Yeah. And I mentioned I mentioned to a lesser degree dogs because we just went through it again with Dakota. Small. And it reminded me of a conversation that I walked into years ago. There was a lady at work and they were talking about their dogs and how much pampering their dogs took and all this stuff. And the comment was, it's just like having children. Actually, it's more work than kids.
Oh, bull.
No, I actually, yeah. And I didn't have.
You could leave a dog at the house for 4 hours and come back and let him out.
Yeah, I usually didn't have very many conversations with this person. I actually stopped and considered my career at that moment. Do I engage what is what is absolutely going to end in violence,
Mm-hmm.
or do I continue on to my office like I didn't hear that? And I chose to
Right.
continue on to my office like I didn't
Having
hear
a dog is actually more work than a kid.
that was what was said, because
You are out of your
the
flipping line.
the trailing explanation for that was because a kid can eventually take care of themselves. So, so here's the
Right.
yeah, sure they can. I invite you to listen to the first 20 minutes of this episode alone.
Yeah.
And if that's not enough, the previous 46 hours. But yeah, like to a very, very lesser extent, a dog. But it's not even the same universe. It's like sleep deprivation versus my alarm woke me up 15 minutes too early. You know, it's annoying, but it's not you could go to jail if you neglect your kid.
Yeah.
Like if your kids run around
Well,
the
you
house.
can go to
with
jail if you neglect your dog, too.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Welcome back. I remember, I'm sure that you had moments with your kids to where you're so close to just snapping, but it's like, but
I've had those and I've snapped too. So I've had,
yeah. I remember, oh God. So my oldest son, Jacob, and I've talked about him several times on this podcast, how he was rotten when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Why we had a second kid, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
Yeah.
But he has grown up into a fine, outstanding young man.
Yeah.
And is just turned into be a fantastic kid.
Yeah. Cameron
was relatively easy as a baby.
Yeah.
But there was one day where I just about took him back to the hospital. You're taking him back.
This one's broken. Yeah.
We went to the Walmart. Okay. It was me and the boy by myself.
Breaking Bad Walmart or
the Breaking Bad Walmart.
Old.
Okay. We're at the Breaking Bad Walmart. And I've got him in the cart.
Yeah.
And we're walking. We're getting about 4 aisles down. He takes his binky, his pacifier. He throws it on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. At Walmart. So I get it.
So it's done.
Yeah. I get it. I go up to the bathroom. I wash it off really good. And I give it back to him. We're walking back down to do grocery shopping again. We get to about aisle 4 now. He throws it again. I'm like, Cameron, you got to stop that.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. We go back. I wash it again. And I was going to keep it. But he's like, binky, 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 binky. So I give it back to him again.
Yeah.
We're down the aisle again. He throws it a third time. This time I catch it.
Oh.
This pisses him off because Daddy caught it.
Yeah.
And now I'm not going to give it to him because he keeps throwing it.
Yeah.
And he's throwing a fit, screaming at me. He is swinging at me.
Oh.
He is trying to kick me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not giving this to you because you won't stop throwing it. So he's like, gimme, 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 gimme. He's like the Tasmanian devil, and screaming at me. So I'm looking at him, I'm thinking, you're not going to win this. I take the shoestring off of his shoe. I tie one end to the pacifier. I tie another end to the handle on the cart. And I said, here you go. And he takes the binky and he throws it. And it's just waving there, and it doesn't hit the ground. Oh my God, he is just like, no, he's just mad, so mad because he can't throw it on the floor.
Yeah.
And he starts swinging at me again.
Oh my God.
And he starts swinging and screaming. And what did I do? Now, if this was Jacob, this is my first kid, I would have been so embarrassed. I would have been like, oh my God, I'm this dad who can't control his kid in the store. I don't care anymore. I turn the cart backwards.
Yeah.
And I'm pushing the cart backwards. And he can't see me. And he is arms flailing and he's screaming. And I'm like, oh, da-da-da-da. Oh, what are we doing? Oh, we're walking past donuts. Donuts that we're not going to buy, Cameron, because you're screaming at Daddy. And then we walk past all the yummy cereal. Fruit Loops. Yeah, we're not going to buy that. Oh, what's over there? Frosted Flakes. And these moms are looking at me like, oh yeah, I'm getting thumbs up, and one mom claps at me, and I'm like, oh, da-da, and I'm just pushing him. He's throwing the biggest damn fit.
That's awesome.
And I was just like,
yeah,
suck it. It's moments like that make you irritable.
Yes.
And I have to say, Cameron grew up into a very fine, outstanding young man as well.
Yes, he did.
Got one other story about Cameron.
Okay.
Because he mentioned the other day, he's like, Dad, you've talked about Jacob a lot on the, and I have, because Jacob's had a new girlfriend, and Jacob just got his driver's license.
Okay.
This is a greatest hits story of Cameron.
Okay.
We went on vacation. This was 5 or 6 years ago. We go to Chicago.
Uh-huh.
And you've been to Chicago, right?
Yes.
Okay. If you go to Chicago, there's the museum. What's the museum up there in Chicago called?
A Museum of Chicago.
Yeah, the Chicago Museum.
Chicago Museum.
I can't remember the name of the museum because I'm 51 and I'm losing my mind and I'm forgetting things.
Yeah.
So we go to the museum, and as soon as you walk in, there's a giant T-Rex.
Okay.
Sue the dinosaur.
Okay.
Giant.
Oh, the name is Sue, not bring a lawsuit against the dinosaur.
No. The person who found the skeletal remains of this
Sue.
T-Rex and that's why the dinosaur is named Sue.
Okay.
The T-Rex. So we walk in, and that's the first thing you see. And I'm kind of thinking this museum's blew their load here a little bit, because the second you walk in, that's the most amazing thing you see, and then everything else is kind of a letdown.
Yeah, it's like you go see a troglodyte or whatever.
Exactly. Oh, there's a mammoth, and not as cool as a T-Rex,
Yeah.
So we're looking at this T-Rex. My God, this is absolutely amazing.
Yep.
We're walking around. Can you believe how big this thing was or whatever? Cameron says, Dad, I've got to go potty. I'm like, okay. So I take him to the bathroom. He goes into the stall and he closes the door to do his business.
Yeah.
And this is when he yells, Dad, this is the coolest place ever. They have 8 rolls of toilet paper. I told you we just saw a T-Rex, right?
Yeah.
So on the cool scale, you've got, way up at the top, toilet paper.
Yeah.
Way down here at the bottom, T-Rex.
Well,
I mean, I could have taken him to Costco.
As you get older, as you get older, that becomes more important, because I've had situations where things get really messy and there's hardly enough toilet paper to handle the situation.
But 8 rolls? 8.
You're in no danger at that point.
No, you're not. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for joining us on another episode. We want you to go to irritabledadsyndrome.com, and when you go there, you can see new pictures. There's pictures of me, and there's pictures of Mike, there's pictures of Dave Lay.
Yep.
It's the entire Irritable Dad trio. You can also go on there, and you can listen to previous episodes, and we recommend that you listen to ones in the 40s. If you like those, go back and listen to ones in the 30s. If you like those, get really brave, do the 20s. And if you're an idiot, listen to 1 through 10.
Previously, So there's some good stories in there, but they're told by 2 inept morons.
I've said it before. I really wish our first 10 episodes were as good as our last 10 episodes. But whatever.
Yeah,
what? We've been growing. I think we've learned as we've evolved.
And we've been putting a lot of time in our Patreon. If you like what you hear, please support us on Patreon. There's a lot of we want to make it worth what people are paying. So we've been putting a lot of behind the scenes and additional stuff. There's a bonus episode for certain levels on there. We're trying to do some things.
So become a Patreon. Please support us financially. please send us money.
We need to afford toilet paper. We may need to afford legal fees.
I gotta buy 8 rolls of toilet paper before I get home.
Yeah.
But we also wanted to mention that the end of October we're going to be in Cleveland.
Land of the Cleves.
We're going to the Cleveland. We're going to be up there. We're going to see Gojira. And then we're going to be at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What are the dates for that, Mike?
They canceled their tour.
Seriously?
Yeah, they
We've
canceled.
been pimping this thing for months, and now they've canceled it?
They were touring with who is it? I can't think of the name of the band.
Hall & Oates.
And that tour got canceled because I got there was a notice on their Twitter or something that said, "We're sorry, we look forward to seeing you next spring," and that you'll get instructions on refunds of your tickets. But the show that we have tickets for is not for that other band in Gojira. It's for only Gojira. I think that they were touring themselves and with that other band.
Okay.
So I think our show is still on.
Oh, well, what'd you do that for?
I bet we needed some controversy. The reason I did that is because I it's not completely clear. I haven't gotten. I went to check our tickets. They're still valid.
Okay. Anyway, we hope to see Mike and Randy Gojira.
We do hope to see
And,
Mike and Randy look
and then we'll be at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And I asked you what the dates were, and I don't know what they were.
Halloween Eve. It's October 30th.
October 29th and 30th will
Yep.
be in Cleveland.
Yep.
So coming up, and we hope to see you there. So again, we want to thank you for listening, and we will see you next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
This concludes our show. Peace out, everybody. Oh, and word to your mother.
And I tried to say bye and yeah at the same time. And I was like,
Yeah, and they
it's-
don't know whether you're having a stroke.
And then I hang up the phone and I'm like, I just hope that they forget that I did it. Because the older I get, you'd think as long as we've done this podcast,
Yeah.
I would be able to talk